here are both of the skins, and they're now dry. And the lower one was made with the pouring medium, and the top one was made with the gloss varnish. And you can see now that they're dry, there's no real big difference between the two. Both will come off of the plastic and appear to be completely transparent. Right, so here's a little bit, one of my clay pieces. One that I've added gold, and I use the Golden Open. I have a gold of that. And here's one that has several tones of blue on it. Kind of a similar blue, I believe. And this is iridescent gold, Golden Open, but I bought copper and gold and silver for you all to use if you decide you want pieces with bling. And you can just take your paint out, and this is called rouging. And what you do is just try to rub your finger across and do highlights. And then that way you can add that little bit of golden sparkle to the piece. And that's exactly how I did this S up here. So if you decide you want something with gold or silver or copper, you can do that with your finger in that paint. You don't want a whole lot of paint on your finger, just a little bit, so that you can see what it will be. And this one probably had a little bit more gold to it. So you can finish them with that, paint them anyway and finish them. You could do white on the surface or black on the surface or anything like that to paint your clay shapes that you made. Alright, and then the next thing that I have up here is the rust medium. And both of these work a little bit different. This is rust, and I put the rust activator on, and it really has to be overnight. And you're going to spray that on with this spray application bottle here, and just really soak it good. So if it's not rusting the way that you want it to, so you can have a piece of rust metal, you can add more. And I put that in the spray bottle. It does seem to leak a little bit, but don't worry about it. The other one, I use this turquoise green patina, and it starts activating right away on the copper. It was copper and now it's green, and according to the directions, if you do not stop this, it will turn completely green and use all the copper. So these work two ways, that you cannot put any varnish on the rusty metal from the iron paint, because the rust goes away and looks just like you painted brown paint. So when that's completely dry, to seal it, you can put workable fixative on it, and that will seal it. So when you glue those onto your pictures, if you use any of those things you make with rust, you probably should glue any shapes later, or if you've got it on paper, be really careful where you put it and go around it with the medium. If you're using one of these, then since you have to seal it to stop it, then it gets sprayed with this, and that UV varnish fixative, now I've sprayed the surface, it makes it more shiny, and it should stop the patina rust process. So it looks kind of like a rusty turquoise coin. So I got the blue-green patina on that, and it works with the gold or the turquoise either way. You can play with the bronze, with any of the patinas with them, and do whatever you like. So that's that finishing of that one. Alright, my iron is heated up, and I've got it face down, and I've tested it, and I started, and you can see the crinkles starting to happen. So I'm going to put my iron down and pick it up really quickly, and if it's too hot, then it burns a whole lot of holes in that. Let's see, I may have it too high. turn it down just a little bit. So very quickly I am going down on the tie back with the iron and picking it back up and trying to control where the crinkles and the dots are coming. And if it feels like it may be too hot and doing too much, you can put a cloth over the top of it and lower the heat a little bit. And you want to add pressure and keep adding it and watch the front until you get the desired effect with your tie back. I've included 2 pieces of tie back from my tie back roll that I bought so that you all could try a couple pieces of it. My others don't have as many holes in it as this, because I think I had my iron a little too hot at the beginning, but I kind of like the lacy hole effect. And you just keep doing the ironing until you're satisfied with the amount of texture that's on the front part of your piece. See, I have that on 4 to 5 now. I think that might be the better setting because the other one just got hot really, really quick. And keep pressing it until your entire piece of tie back has that crinkled appearance to it. There's 2 grades of it, and this is a lighter grade than the other, heavier grade than the other. The other one has a little bit different look to it. So I think I'm satisfied. I'm about done. So the next step to finishing this is to make the creases and the bubbles stand out. So if you just added paint to this, it would soak in. So you're going to take your gloss varnish here and varnish it all over with the gloss polymer medium varnish on the surface so that it won't absorb the paint the same way. Then we'll come in with our paint and wipe it back really good. And I'm going to stop and varnish it. Alright, I have varnished this with a clear coat of my gloss varnish, and then I'm using the Golden Open because it stays wet for quite a long time and you could wipe it back off. And so I did another one with the blue cracks. I think it really highlighted it nicely. So, and I did heat this a little bit longer after I turned the video off. So I've got a little bit more crinkles. And I'm just adding a nice coat of the manganese blue all over the entire piece. And then that means the cracks will have that nice blue look into the cracks of it. So you're just going to come in with a fairly wet brush and whatever color of paint you decide to make your cracks, and put them all over the entire piece like you were painting it that color, so that it gets into all the little cracks and crevices. And this is kind of like when you stain your piece of furniture one cover and then you come over it with an antiquing. This does the very kind of effect as that. Then you take your paper towel easy as can be, and wipe off the extra paint off the surface. And so as you can see, that the extra blue paint is coming off, but the paint that I put in the cracks is going to stay in those cracks and really highlight them and give it a nice, you could use any color that you like, nice effect that will make those cracks and crevices come up more. So this one was blue, and this one that I have here, I put golden quinacridone gold in the cracks. So it is just up to you on how you decide you want to paint it. And then this can be torn, cut, and torn into any little piece that needs part of this. And when you're ready to use it and you've cut it, if you've got an edge like this, it might not fit real well. So when you get to that point, I'll show you how to burn those edges back with your candle and a bowl of water. And then your tie back is all complete.